I want to tell you the power of being seen. See, God saw Gideon different than everyone else. God saw Gideon different than Gideon saw himself. God saw Gideon different than people saw Gideon. God saw Gideon different than I saw Gideon. And that's grace. Because you know what grace means in the Old Testament? The word grace in Hebrews means to be favorably seen. I think the wonderful frame of the word grace. To be seen wonderfully. There's a famous story of the man from La Mancha, of Don Quixote. A play, a movie, old movie. And the story is about a man who thinks he's a Spanish knight, who really is a bit deluded. But his whole dream and fantasies is he's on all these adventures as a mighty warrior, as the soldier, and the valiant protector of the innocent. Well, one day he meets a woman at a eating place, and this woman, her name is Aldonza. And Aldonza is by day a waitress, and by night she's a harlot. She's a prostitute. She is so broken, so torn apart, and the world has marked her, inscribed in her the big B word, the big, ugly, worthless, all that stuff. Marked, wounded, cracked, fractured. And he sees her, and his eyes are popping out. And Don Quixote asks, "Who are you?" She tells him her name, Aldonza. And he said, "No, you are not Aldonza. You are Dulcinea. Because you are my Spanish princess." Well, she takes it out. And just like probably a lot of other guys, hitting on her, all that stuff. And he comes continually to this place over and over again, seeking to woo her in all his delusion in reality. And constantly says, "You are Dulcinea, Dulcinea." The last scene, there's two more scenes. The second to the last scene is where Aldonza is brutally raped by a gang outside of that food place. And she's torn, shredded in her clothing, broken in her body, and broken in her spirit. And she enters in and has to go to work. She goes into work, and Don Quixote sees her and says to her, Dulcinea, Dulcinea, what has happened? And she just has enough and says, "Stop it! Just stop it! I am not your Dulcinea. I am Aldonza. I am nothing but a slut." And she leaves him weeping. And he just says, No, you are Dulcinea, my Spanish princess. That scene enters, crushing the audience. And we get to the final scene, and Don Quixote is dying. He's in his deathbed. A few of his family members and just one or two close friends are standing beside his deathbed. And time has elapsed from that chapter to his dying moment. And there's a knock on the door. And at a knock on the door, one of the relatives of Don Quixote comes down, opens the door, and there's this beautiful lady. This lady dressed elegantly, and she says, "May I see Don Quixote?" And the relative says, "Well, he is in and out of consciousness. I don't know if he could even, but you're welcome to come in." And so she comes in. She comes into the room, And one of the other relatives says, he's unconscious right now. And she still begs to see him. So they allow her to come up to his bedside. And she says, Don Quixote, do you remember me? And he's still out of it. Don Quixote, you must remember me. I am all that I am because of you and how you've seen me. I am Dulcinea. And at the end of the story is he wakes up from that moment and says, my Spanish princess, I knew you would come. That's the story of being seen favorably. So you see, that is grace. And that's just a story. Do you not know that God is beyond that? Do you not know that within this place of clay, for each and every one of them, us here, is a name. A name. And you may, I don't know what you did with your toothpick. I just hope you didn't pick your teeth after you did. That's another thing. I don't know what you inscribed, but do you not know, or will you not hear right now, will you not listen this conference, that there is a name that is only based on grace, on being seen, each one of you. And my prayer is that you will be in that process of being redefined, and even get a glimpse of that in these next 3 days.